All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on which time zone you're in. Welcome to a very special edition of Kaia Community Town Hall. Now, before we start, sorry about the late start. Tonight is actually going to be a very special session. We'll be doing something we've never actually done before, which is actually to live stream with our guests tonight. So there were a few technical, infrastructural things that we had to work out first before we got started, but we're here now. So thank you. We have around 150 people watching right now. I'm sure that number will go up as the night proceeds. But I mean, we're here together right now for a very special reason, and that is obviously the launch of the Mini Dapp infrastructure online. So it was a great launch. This launch has been almost, I would say, maybe like 7 months in preparation. And literally, I'm not even exaggerating when I say like hundreds of people were involved in making this happen. So I would like to thank everybody on the line next side, on the Kaia Foundation side, Mini Dapp builders, and of course the community for making this possible. So it's been a wild couple of months, but we are finally here. And thankfully, there weren't any catastrophic bugs. There weren't any issues. Right now, we have, the last time I checked the numbers, the Mini Dapp portal has around 100,000 subscribers to its OA. And also, we have around, I think, 18,000 people have been had been participated in the rewards campaign. So the numbers are great. A lot of buzz online at the moment. So what I wanted to do today for this very special edition of the town hall was to basically highlight some of our kind of like top kind of like Mini Dapp submissions, tier 1 submissions, if you would, and really give you an understanding of like the quality and the depth of gameplay that you will find in our Mini Dapps, which from the get-go, from the beginning, I've always said was our key differentiator, just the pure quality and the depth of gameplay that you will see in our Mini Dapps compared to other mini app infrastructures out there. So really excited. And these walkthroughs will actually be conducted by the builders themselves, the teams behind the actual Mini Dapps. So even more honored to have them make the time to be with us tonight. So to continue, today, the agenda will be basically, after a quick round of intros, I will be conducting a walkthrough of the Dapp portal, actually straight from my phone. Hopefully there won't be any kind of technical issues. We'll go through that without hitches. After that, we'll have each of our guests tonight actually present their games directly from the screens. So super excited about that. Because I'm sure not only will they walk through their Mini Dapps, but I'm sure they'll be able to share maybe some insights or tips on how to play effectively and so on. And then after that, we'll have a quick round of question and answers. It's like a fireside chat style, just to kind of get more insights into how everyone got here, what we can expect for the future. Okay, so without further ado, obviously we have 5 guests here with me tonight, and I just wanted to take this opportunity to kind of allow everyone to introduce themselves, because I think we've had multiple AMA sessions. This is the first time I think any of the people here tonight have appeared on our community town hall. So right now we have around 330 people watching. So yeah, we'll get right into the introduction. So starting with Rich, do you want to just do a quick intro? So tell us who you are and the game that you represent here tonight.
Hey guys, sorry if I lag out geographical location. I'm in China right now, but I'm not going to take up too much of your time. My name is Rich, and I'm the co-founder of this game that's hopefully going to be your next favorite game, called Midnight Survivors. And I'm not going to talk too much about it, but it is, think Survivor.io, just online. So it's a survival action RPG, and you'll see in a bit. That's it.
Thanks, Rich. I mean, as a big survival game fan, really looking forward to this. Adele and Joanna, do you guys want to take the stage?
Yes, absolutely. So my name is Adele, and I am a founder of W3 Forge, which is a gaming studio behind Elderglade and projects like ZK Race that was named days before the rebrand. So yeah, so we're building Elderglade, this amazing AI enhanced retro style game that we just launched online a few hours ago, basically. So yeah, and yeah, and this is Joanna, our marketing manager, and we're extremely excited to be here with you today.
And we're excited to have you guys here tonight with us as well. And I have played Elder Glade for a few minutes, and it was, I mean, the quality is just like through the roof. Again, I think a lot of the people watching tonight will really be able to kind of feel the differentiated level of like, just like visual, visual fidelity, the gameplay. It really does not feel like your typical Web3 game, which is a compliment, by the way. But yeah, so Tony, do you want to take the stage now?
Hey guys, I'm the founder of Digital Fire Studios. We have 2 games online this time around. Goblin Tycoon is an idle casual type game where you're trying to level up heroes, build up factories, get gadgets, and have these goblins try to kill the main boss. And the objective is obviously to go through as many bosses as possible. And at the same time, like going through more bosses gets you higher earn rates, earn rewards, which ultimately uh, resolves in an airdrop. So yeah, glad to be here, and very excited to show everybody what this game is all about.
Thanks, Tony. And Goblin Tycoon obviously was one of the first games that we actually revealed through teaser trailers. And I can tell you from the get-go, when we released the teasers, a lot of people were kind of like blown away by Goblin Tycoon. Again, not by the fidelity, but also just from footage of the gameplay. So I have a feeling Goblin Tycoon will be one of the mini dapps that are kind of standout in terms of like user conversions this season. Okay, and finally, but not least, Koya from Captain Tsubasa.
Hello everyone, this is Kaia from Captain Tsubasa team. Have you guys heard of Captain Tsubasa? Captain Tsubasa is actually a Japanese legendary IP. There are a lot of original anime fans all over the world. So we're developing a game with this IP, and we're aiming for the mass adoption of the Web3 games. And this is very great opportunity to make it happen with Line and the Kaia team. So I'm very excited to work with you guys, and I'm very excited for this, tonight, community town hall. So, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Koya, for making the time to be with us tonight. Captain Tsubasa was also one of the early titles that we teased at the beginning of the kind of whole promotional like phase, and obviously it's because like it's one of the kind of like launch titles that had established IP. So if you guys are not familiar, but I'm sure a lot of you are, Captain Tsubasa is an established anime IP in Japan. But obviously, with which is the case with anime, it's not just famous in Japan, but all over Asia and parts of the US and Europe as well. Okay, so thank you guys for the intros. So guys watching right now, don't worry, you'll have more opportunities to engage with our builders during the Q&A session and also during the walkthrough as well. And if you're just joining, welcome to our 500 viewers. Tonight, it is a very special edition of the Community Town Hall where we will be actually walking you through live streams of the mini dapps that were launched today. But before we actually get into the mini dapps themselves, I wanted to just kind of like provide a quick overview of kind of like the core infrastructure at hand, which is the Dapp portal, to the people out there. Because my understanding is that not everybody will have access to the Line Messenger. Also, not everybody will want to download the Line Messenger, which is just kind of like reality in itself. So just wanted to remind people that the mini dapps will be accessible through desktop browsers as well. So you don't necessarily have to have the Line Messenger application to access the mini dapps. So how? I will kind of like get into that a little bit. But again, yeah, I just wanted to kind of like, help people understand what the Line Messenger experience is like by actually streaming from my phone. Now, I have never done this live before, so excuse me if things go wrong, but just the nature of like, doing things live. So yeah, let me just see if I can share my screen. Okay, now is this coming up? I don't know if it's coming up. Hold on. All right. I think I'm gonna have to stop screen, share screen, entire screen, share, and then boom, there we go. Okay. All right. So now, again, if you've never used Line Messenger, but I'm assuming a lot of you would probably have used Line Messenger before, or at least if you've used the Line Messenger, like a messenger service, I'm sure you're familiar with what you're seeing on screen. So the most kind of like in a common way that people will be accessing the Dapp portal from their phones, from the Line Messenger environment, will be through the Dapp portal official account. So I just clicked on the Dapp portal official account, and when you load the account, this is what you see. So already the Dapp portal has been like, the Dapp portal team have been working hard to send out and promote kind of like the titles that you can see. So we have Captain Tsubasa, Bombi, we have Elderglade here as well. And by clicking these links, you can actually access the mini dapps directly without having to go through the Dapp portals themselves. And obviously, if you subscribe to the official account, you will be able to receive promotions highlighting these really awesome apps like on a regular basis. And I can tell you already within a day of launching, we have over 100,000 subscribers to this OA. So from a builder's perspective, anytime we send out a push message promoting your mini Dapp, basically you will have direct access to 100,000 Line Messenger users. So these users, the fact that they're actually receiving these messages means that they are already engaged with the mini Dapp and Dapp portal infrastructure environment, because they actually took the time and converted the action of actually subscribing to the OA. So it's a really interesting thing that I've noticed. Like, the level of engagement and conversion rates a lot higher in environments like Line Messenger, because the actual very act of subscribing means that you're already engaged and kind of interested in this whole kind of like interface landscape. Yeah. So anyway, so this is kind of like the overview. Now, if you click menu, you have three options. You have the portal itself, the wallet, and community. So just to do the easy one first, if you click the community app, you will see links to our official mini Dapp community. So we have one for Japanese, Thai, and Taiwan, obviously, because those are kind of like key Line Messenger regions. And also we have, don't worry, an English community as well on Telegram that you guys will be access. And also besides that, we have access, we have links to our social channels and also direct links to all our day one launch titles here as well. So we've made sure that wherever you are within the infrastructure and the UX UI, that you always have like a very quick link to the mini dapps themselves. Okay, now if you click wallet, now this is a really cool stuff. And again, this is just literally day one, which means we're just beginning. And so what you see here is not the final product. It's actually a product, work in progress that we will be continuing to kind of like expand and like improve on over the next coming months. But I mean, think about what this actually means. This is the first crypto wallet that is natively available within the Line Messenger environment. So this is unprecedented. And also this is not just, it's not a regional specific thing. It is available globally, universally for all Line Messenger users. So from here, you can conduct swaps between your tokens. If you have any NFTs in your wallet, that you'll be able to see them. And also, obviously, you can set your favorite Dapp apps. So you can actually go here and select apps that are your favorites, and they will show on that menu. And of course, on the bottom here, just quick show of the trade function. So once our mini dapps start, going through the TGEs, I'm sure there'll be a massive influx of liquidity and tokens. And so this is where you'll be able to purchase tokens, swap tokens, and so on, and also cash out. And now this obviously is, just like a link. It's linking out to centralized exchanges where they provide off-ramp and on-ramp services. But as a quick tease, what I can kind of share is right now, nothing's confirmed yet, but for some specific regions, we are actually looking to embed native on and off ramp experiences directly within the wallet. So hopefully that comes through. And obviously, we have access to the market where you'll be able to buy game items and NFTs and so on. And I heard one of the games have already like amassed like thousands in purchases already on day one, which is kind of crazy. All right, now, and then going back to the OA. So here, if you click the portal, this is kind of like our, piece de resistance. This is where the entirety of the discovery, kind of like majority of the discovery experience actually happens for the user as well. So here in the hero area, this is where we highlight kind of like, some of the cool games that are available. There's Elderglade there. And then if you kind of like scroll down, not only will you see your color Kaia balance, but as part of a launch campaign, we have missions that you can conduct right now as well. So basically, it is like the easiest mission you can do. You're getting paid to play awesome games. I mean, what else do you need? Like, it's just a no-brainer to engage and interact with these things. So you can collect points and rewards by interacting not just with the Dapp portal, but just playing games like that you would play anyway, right? So again, super smooth. I don't think there are any issues. I have not gone through any catastrophic bugs or anything. So kudos to the dev team at Line Next for really launching a really smooth running product on day one. Okay, now I am going to shut up, stop talking, because we have very important people right now on the stage wanting to share their games. Sorry, so let me just stop sharing. Sorry, so bear with me. Okay. All right. Now, but before we head on to the walkthroughs, I just wanted to kind of highlight this. So yes, the ideal Dapp portal experience will be through the Line Messenger, because the UX UI will be a lot more seamless, and it's kind of like the way that we intended for our users to engage with the Dapp portal and mini dapps. But that said, there are a ton of other ways that you can access these cool mini dapps. So very soon you will have direct desktop browser access to the Line mini Dapp portal, but right now, you can actually go onto OKX's wallet site to access the mini dapps themselves. So this is a QR code. So if you click this QR code, it will send you directly to OKX's desktop portal, where you'll be able to see all our mini dapps in their glory and access them directly from your desktop browser. Okay, so now I am really going to stop here. And first, I would like Rich, if you could maybe just share your screen and begin your walkthrough for us.
Yep, sure. Also, if I just lag out randomly, my bad. But I'm gonna explain this game to you as if I'm sitting beside you and just showing you a new game. Let's give you 1 second. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yep.
So I just created a new account, and this is pretty much what you're going to experience once you load up this game. So this is what you're going to see on desktop. And in the beginning, let me hide this. This is the tutorial. So the controls are very simple. You just swipe to move your hero. And this is going to show you how to play. You want to kill these monsters, pick up the experience. And now you're able to, once you level up, you actually get heroes to join you in killing monsters. And as the game progresses, it gets harder and harder and harder. So you have to, the goal is to not die, survive it. However, in this example, we can hard character. Yeah, very easy. And now you're back in the lobby. So in the beginning, this is the exact flow that you're going to go through just playing this game. So now you see what it's like to actually play the game. pretty much how this game works is there's a timer, and at the very end, see, right now you level up, you're able to choose. Do you want to get this guy? Do you want to get this guy? There's different elements as well. So now you have two characters helping you. And eventually, you're gonna have to be running so much, you're not gonna be able to actually pick up all of the gems. So we have this feature here that's a magnet, and if you click this, then you're able to actually get all the gems that appear on the map at once. And as you see, we leveled up. So now these are two of the exact same characters you already have. So instead of like getting another person, you're leveling up the skill. So you see here, spear count +2, ice ball count +2. So I'm gonna go with the spear. And now the first guy is able to do 3 hits instead of 1. As you're playing this game, it's going to progressively get harder and harder and harder and harder. There's going to be a lot more enemies that come. But if you're using a phone that is probably not the greatest like specs, you're able to click right here, simplified mode, or right here, mode right here. So now we level up again. And there's another person here. And pretty much at the end, you're going to see the boss. However, I'm probably not going to play this for 5 minutes straight. I'm just going to show you an example of how this works. But as the timer goes on, it gets more difficult. And as you saw right there, something right here popped up. This is actually the play to airdrop mechanic that we have set in this game. So the more that you play this game, you're going to be able to get something called MP. So that's going to pop up right here. Every single time you kill 100 enemies, you get a randomized amount of MP. And at the end of the game, that's going to add up towards your airdrop a lot. So you're able to essentially play this game for free and farm a massive airdrop from our game and our partners as well. So now you see in this first level we're maxed out with 4 characters. And progressively more and more people or more and more monsters are coming. And you can die very easily in this game if you don't really pay attention, because it actually gets quite difficult. It really does get very difficult. But I'm going to show you now the menu system and things like that. If you want to get out of here, or if you want to change your language, we have right now we have English and Japanese. We're going to have the other languages very shortly, probably the next few days. We'll have Thai, we'll have Chinese, and we'll have Korean as well. So once you get back to the lobby, you'll see right here, talents. So what is this? Talents is actually the skill tree. It looks a little wonky right now on desktop because it's really meant for line, for mobile, but it still does the job. So you have different skill trees that you spend the coins that you get from the game to level up. But I didn't finish the level, so I don't really have any coins. And every single time you complete a stage, there's different things that you can get. So in this right now, you're going to get, this is like confirmed. You unlock more characters, you get equipment, you get items to level up your equipment, and you get gold. What do you use that GP to do? You level up your skills, because this is a roguelike. And the equipment, we have an equipment equipment section over here where you're able to then use the equipment. Now heroes. We have 24 heroes in this game, and they have different rankings. So we have normal, so just common heroes. We have rare heroes, so you see level 1 unlocked. Once you beat the first stage, you're going to get these 2 heroes. And then eventually, you're going to get to the SR heroes, and then eventually you're going to get to the UR heroes. So these UR means ultra rare. These are the legendary, broken, overpowered units that you saw in the tutorial. But there's 24 total characters, and 12 are free. So just by playing the game, as you see level 5 unlocked, you're able to use all of these characters in the game. But if you want to get these ones, these are purchasable with gems. And now we have the store feature. So in the store, it's a pretty simple feature here. The only thing you really buy in the store is gems. And what do you use the gems to do? You use the gems to either buy gold, like GP. You use the gems to summon equipment. So that's all the stuff you see here. And you also use the gems to revive yourself if you die. So we have 11 levels. Each of them get progressively harder. If anyone can defeat level 11 today, I will personally send you like money, because that is an insane task. And as you see over here, quests, these are the Kaia rewards that we have. And they're all linked, and it's automatic. So the moment you do these things, at the end of the day, at midnight, you're going to get Kaia just deposited into your account. So it's very simple things. Invite a friend, beat 3 levels. What else are these quests? Level up. So reach player level 20 in a run, or survive for 5 minutes. And pretty much if you survive and beat level 1, you've already completed like a ton of these quests. And there's a leaderboard as well. There's someone who's absolutely someone from Korea is just destroying everything and everyone. And that's pretty much it. So if you have questions later about the game, feel free to let me know. That's about it.
Yeah, thanks, Rich. I actually have a bunch of questions for you, but we'll obviously save them for later. But thank you for the walkthrough. So next, we have Joanna. Will be walking us through Elderglade. Really excited about this.
Hi, John. Thank you. So I'm Yana. I'm Elderglade's marketing manager. I hope some of you have already given Elderglade a try, but for those who didn't, I hope this showcase helps to convince you. And Elderglade is actually already available on several different platforms. So it's available on web browser, but it's also available in Google and Apple Play stores and Telegram, and now, of course, online. So we're very excited about that. And let me just share my screen with you and show you the walkthrough. So just 1 second. All right. Do you see my screen?
Not yet.
Not yet. Maybe I just need to turn off the camera first. You can see it now?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So this is almost a brand new account. I've just tested it a little bit to make sure that there are no hiccups during the showcase. But first, let's just go to the settings. So see, in the settings, you have your username, you have your wallet address, and you can select language. So currently the game is available in English, Japanese, Mandarin, and Thai, and more languages are coming soon. So we'll also add Korean and Spanish very, very soon. And you can also change your username here. You just write whatever username you want and click save. And when you log into the game, you'll get assign an Elderglade champion. So this is my champion. These champions stick with you throughout your Elderglade mobile game journey. But if you if you buy an Elderglade NFT, which is currently on Line's marketplace, you can actually switch that up. So you can choose then to have your NFT as your profile picture. But other than that, you do get like one assigned champion. Up top here, you can see your point generation. So how many points in total you have and how many points you're generating per hour. Here you have boosters. So there is a free daily booster. You always get an energy refill every 24 hours. And then there's also special boosters that you can purchase with Kaia, or you can use fiat payments, or actually also points from the game. And all these boosters, I think they're pretty self-explanatory in a sense that it's either energy refill, it's a hot streak, so it doubles your winnings. You can increase your energy limit, or energy regeneration, or even get bigger prizes from the matches that you complete. And coming back to the homepage, there is also daily missions. So those, of course, change daily just to keep it interesting for you and a bit to add a little bit of a challenge to your gameplay. And the whole story behind Elderglade is that you are this Elderglade champion who is building his own town. in the wilderness. So you collect points, and for those points you can then buy farming cards, and those cards, food supplies, market, security, specials, they will increase your point generation, but also develop your town. So the main point is to have as developed town as possible, and to increase your point generation per hour. And you can just use the points that you've accumulated to level up your cards. And there are specific also cards that require you to complete some missions before you can unlock them. So you can just see it here, which keeps it interesting and also gives you a little bit more of a challenge that you can't buy all the cards immediately. You have to work for it, put in a bit of effort. And then there is the earn section. So this is our social tasks section. And here you have special tasks that either give you Kaia, NFTs, or points in the game. And the tasks are very simple. You just either have to like a post, follow our social media, invite friends, and for that you can immediately get some benefits. And we have a leaderboard. So here you will see how you compare to like with other players and how well you're doing. And as you climb the leaderboard, you get to the next level, and you also receive a tier reward. So here, for example, if you enter a silver tier, you get 10,000 points, and then of course that amount increases the higher you go in tiers. And the invite friends section. So of course, playing is way more fun with your friends, and so you can invite all your friends. You can also invite your mom and your grandpa to play this game. I think it's so easy and so straightforward and fun that anyone can enjoy it, regardless of their gender or age. So feel free to share your referral code, or just click on invite friend link, and then you can share it in your social media for them to join. And you also get special rewards for inviting friends. So you get 5,000 points, but also all of your depending on how your friend progresses through the game, and when they enter different tiers on the leaderboard, you get 20% of their winnings as well. So it's really beneficial to have several friends invited, just because it means that you can accumulate your points so much quicker than everyone else. And let's go to the main event, which is the game itself. So we just press play, and we are transported into Elderglade's. We click the sound off for now, so you can hear me. But this is the game, and two main things you have to pay attention to is this section here. So basically, you have a limited amount of moves that you can complete. And as you see, as I make a move, then this one disappears. So you know how many moves are still left. And there's also a timer. So you cannot take too long between making your moves. That's why it's a game of wits. You have to think very quickly on your feet, just sort of decide on the spot what next move to make. And you get the more points if you create more impressive combos. So try to get as many sort of this little nuggets in there as you can. And then I lost, unfortunately. I didn't play very well this time. But if you get more of them in line, then you get more points. And then there's a chance of you winning against your opponent, of course, goes up. And it just really, really straightforward. If you've ever played Candy Crush, it's a very similar concept. It's just that there is, we believe there's a bit more strategy involved, just because you have those added extra elements of farming cards and social tasks. And all, of course, through playing Elder Glade, you can receive all sorts of direct benefits. So whether it's the Kaia tokens, LD points, and you are competing for a share of 10 million LD. So this is like a game, and hopefully that gives you a big, like, good overview of how to play it. But if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them during the Q&A section. And also on our Medium, we have an explanation on how to play the game. So it's a step-by-step guide, just showing you how to connect and what each section means, and how to increase your point generation on different strategies.
All right. Joanna, thank you for that presentation. I mean, so yes, it is like Candy Crush, but I mean, like from the presentation and also from the added like strategic aspects, I think completely different and definitely a lot more engaging. But to your point, I mean, like game mechanics like this is very simple to kind of get a hold of. So I think definitely, like you said, like this is something that you can like get your mother hooked on for sure.
Absolutely. That's actually the point, because this is an introduction, so it's just the beginning. We have a mobile game, but we are rolling out the full MMORPG later this year. So the mobile game is meant to be simple, engaging, very easy to get into. And then with a full MMORPG game, you will be enrolled into this like expansive universe of Elder Glade with way more strategy as well. So it's something for the players to look forward to.
Oh, wow, I get it. Okay, so basically you're going to get people hooked on the lore by having this game, and then once people are hooked on the lore, you'll release your MMORPG, and then people are like, you know what, I have to kind of deep dive into this. Got it. We'll definitely get more into that during the Q&A session, because I'm actually very curious. Like, for example, you know, if there's like an aspect of progression that carries over to the MMORPG with my character, stuff like that. So definitely a lot of questions during the Q&A session for you guys. Next, so Tony, if you can take the stage and walk us through Goblin Tycoon.
Hey, can you guys hear me? All right. Yeah. So this is Goblin Tycoon. I actually started this game a bit. It's supposed to be for mobile, so that's why like this screen is a bit weird. But essentially in the game, all you'll see is like the middle part of this game. The category of this game, it's a more casual idle type game. The objective is to have your goblins upgraded with the right tools, with the right metrics, with the right weapons and stuff to kill these bosses, right? So right now, like I'm actually stuck. Like if you look at the top left hand side, it shows that I'm on easy level 115. My goblins are not doing it because they're not upgraded to high enough levels. So the way you upgrade in this game is on the top of these little structures. There's actually, if you press them, you see these. You use cash, you use coins to upgrade these heroes. And for these as well, right? You increase the attack spending money, and then you get powered up. This power up makes your goblins more powerful, and they go and kill these bosses for it. There's a lot of side quests in this game. So, for example, apart from just upgrading these factory elements, right? You can also have different heroes that you have to unlock at different levels of the game. And then there's also gacha elements where, for example, you have to spin, and then you get all of these items. Sorry. I don't know why this is not showing. Okay. But yeah, so let's just forget that. But I went to a gacha box, right? And with these gacha boxes, you get these equipment that shows up on the top of these factories. And if you click into them, you add another element of depth where you have to upgrade these different types of weapons. You can enhance them as a batch, and then you can equip them, right? This will show you the best recommendation. The colors mean different rarities. You add these gear on them, and then this also increases their attack capabilities. There's a lot of side quests. I can't go through them all by one given time issues, but there's these booster packs that you can purchase if you're stuck on a level, like this is as well. There's also like these monthly passes and other quests and challenges in the game that you can claim once you've kind of gotten through some of them. And most importantly, I think right now, for a lot of these Web3 users, you get to earn in the game, right? So we have a lot of Kaia rewards within the game, right? Top up rewards, stage clearing rewards. And apart from that, you earn G-Coin. G-Coin will be a very important part of the ultimate airdrop. And the way you earn G-Coin right now is to invite your friends. We will have G-Coin for going through certain levels as well, very soon. But right now you click invite and you get a link, and then you share it with friends. And through that link, your friends click it and it pops up into the line or the browser application. This game is a relatively simple, well, I mean, it's simple from like an action perspective, but if you really want to level up, there's a lot of optimization that you have to do, like where to spend your resources. Like, do you spend your resources on upgrading these factories? Do you spend your resources on upgrading the weapons that they use? And I haven't even unlocked all of the elements. There's this equipment element that on the left, on the bottom, that I haven't really unlocked yet. This is more like armory for these dolphins, right? Apart from the weapons, they also have like armor and all of that stuff. And there's another level of gameplay there. So there are quite a few elements. It's not the easiest game to start. The reason why we kind of made it like this is we wanted to have players try to experience a more kind of mid-core to hardcore type game and see if that is something that audiences like within the Line ecosystem are actually interested in, right? So there's a lot of test phases. There's still a lot of earned elements as well. So like this is idle elements where you check in, you get a lot of items. This is also like monthly cards where you can buy booster packs. But at the end of the day, this is a very big experiment on like the Line user base. Essentially, we wanted to see whether or not whether these like mid-core to hardcore level games actually interest Web3 users, right? And we want them to like not only have fun or like farm these airdrop points, but also essentially farm in-game as well, right? They have to spend quite a bit of time in these games to get to this high levels. And with that time commitment, you get a much higher G-Coin and an ultimate airdrop as well. I'm done.
All right. Yeah, Tony. So I again, like for you as well, I have a bunch of questions. I'm glad you actually brought up a few of the points regarding like audiences, and like the level of like the depth of gameplay. So we'll definitely be diving into that during the Q&A session. Okay. Last but not least, so Koya. I know there are a lot of Captain Tsubasa fans out there. Like we have around 1,400 people watching, and I'm sure of those 1,400 people, there are definitely Captain Tsubasa IP fans. So please start your walkthrough, because I'm sure there are a lot of people waiting for that.
Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay, here. Can you guys see it?
Yep, perfect.
Okay. So this is Captain Sponsor Rivals Online. Actually, we have developed the kind of same game on Telegram, and we got over 8 million users already. And then we are bringing a lot of regional anime fans and also Telegram users. Or actually, we have developed the social game with Captain Sponsor's IP, so we can bring a lot of social game users, like which means Web2 users, so we can bring a lot of users into this live house online. And then I'm gonna go through the how to play or something. So this is very simple game because we are aiming for the Web3 mass adoption, so we are bringing a lot of Web2 users. So we make it as very simple. So first one, the overall in this game, users gonna collect a lot of balls. Balls mean the points in the game, and then actually, a lot of users aiming for the airdrop. So, you know, the number of balls you gather is gonna be determined and how much you can get airdrop. So, I hope a lot of users enjoy collecting the balls. And then the game is very simple. So just tapping the characters, and then you can on the balls, you can collect the balls, and then there is a stamina here. So 2050. So once you click, and the stamina is decreasing. And actually, there are a lot of features here. And then click the boost feature. So you can you can select the multi-tap. You can overall basic rule is one tap is one ball, but by using this multi-tap feature, you can increase like one tap and then two balls, three ball, five ball, or something like that. You can increase the number of balls you can earn from one tap, and then there is a stamina limit. Actually, no, there is a stamina limit here. So if you boost the stamina, you can use this stamina limit feature. So like click the here, and you can level up your stamina here. And then also this is an offline feature here. Of course, everyone cannot keep logging in, so there is a floppy per hour here. So of course you can play and tap your favorite character, but there is a team feature. So once you strengthen your team, you can increase the floppy per hour. So click the team here, and there are a lot of cards. Maybe if you play some Telegram games, you know the rules, but there are a lot of cards. And also one of the key feature is you can enjoy the Captain Tsubasa's words. So every curse has Captain Tsubasa's original image. So let's say you can click the scout, and then you can level up the card, and then also you can disclose the cards one by one. And then every card has a condition to unlock. So like let's say, what is the good one? Okay, so this is a player card. This is the main character Tsubasa Ozora. But let's say I would like to get the this character named Ryo Ishizaki. So this character has a condition to unlock. So Tsubasa Ozora level 5. So my Tsubasa is level 4 now. So I'll level up this character by using the ball, and then I can unlock the character. So there are a lot of original characters that you can enjoy the Captain Tsubasa's world, and also you can pick up their favorite character. So let's say change the character. Oh, sorry, it takes time to change, but you can change your character clicking the button change here. And yeah, so there are a lot of cards, not only players. So there are coach and the manage and the stadium. So these cards have the narrative, like strengths your team. So to strengthen your team, you need to appoint a director. You need to take interview with players. So you need to come up with the team strategy, formation settings, or something like that. So you can play and manage the team as a real soccer team or something. There are a lot of characters, so they have their narrative, so you can enjoy the like organizing soccer team. And there is a special class here. So this is the original manga, comic cards. So you can enjoy the and like original comic cards. If you read the Captain Tsubasa's original anime or manga, so you can remind me. It's reminding me of their old like childhood memory or something. Okay, and one thing, there is a daily comp here. So wait for a sec. Sorry, my PCS. Yeah, actually, no, there is a daily comp here. So by merging 3 specific cards here, so you can earn a lot of balls. So maybe it's better to tapping your characters. So regarding the daily combo, a lot of community members is looking for what the daily combo is for today. So you can enjoy the community experience with your friend, and then let's find the daily combo for today. So daily combo is going to be changed every day. So you need to look for the daily combo, and then you need to unlock a lot of cards for merging 3 cards here. And also, one of the interesting point for mini Dapps is easy to invite friends. So you can invite a friend from here. So you can click the link, and then you can choose the platform to share your invitation link, and then you can enjoy with your friend. And also, we are holding the big invitation campaign with I guess 10K, yeah, $10,000. So you can invite a lot of friends, and you can win a lot of Kaia as a reward. And also, there is a task here. So we're adding a lot of tasks every day, like read how to play, so repost the exciting launch tweets or something like this. So you should check tasks every day, and then you can open the task. You can gather a lot of balls from here, so you should check it. And overall, this is very simple. Just collecting the balls, and then strengths your team, and then strengths your character, and you're gonna great. And once you collect a lot of balls, you can get airdrops, and you can play Captain Spasa's word with your friend by inviting someone, your friends. So and also, actually, there is some feature and coming features like daily merch, and then like I told you, we have developed a lot of social games. So for now, in the initial phase, we try to make it really simple to make everyone play our games. But in the future, we are updating the games, and we are making a very rich game for fun. And so we are combining the fun gaming feature and airdrop things. So I hope you guys enjoy that for in the game, and then you should start playing the game early for the airdrop. So I think that's all for the how to play section. So hope if you guys have any question, feel free to ask me on the Q&A session. Thank you.
Kaia, thank you for that walkthrough. I mean, you know what? This is probably like the most enjoyable way of like collecting balls, I think. So
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so I also have a bunch of questions for you, but obviously now we're done with the walkthroughs. Thank you everybody for giving us such a comprehensive, like step-by-step kind of like walkthrough of all your games. So I have a lot of questions. I'm sure members of the audience also have a lot of questions. So while our team kind of like surveys the chat rooms for potential questions, I have a few myself first, so it's kind of like to kickstart the conversation. So, first question, I mean, for you, Rich. So, I am a massive fan of roguelike games. I am also a massive fan of like survival games and so on. But the kind of the biggest kind of thing for me has been the longevity of these kind of like roguelike games because there are aspects that can get repetitive, especially if they are very difficult. So you as the CEO and also game designer, obviously, what kind of like gameplay aspects or design aspects did you kind of like take into consideration to like maybe like kind of like keep that longevity aspect of a roguelike game up?
Yep. So fortunately, I actually did design this game kind of entirely from scratch. Just I've been playing games like forever. Literally, I learned how to read by playing Pokemon. Like when I was 3 or 4 years old, I was like, "Dad, what does this say?" Okay, that's how I learned how to read. Literally playing Pokemon. But when it comes down to your question, like these survivor type games and roguelike games, honestly, longevity, it depends on difficulty. And also, it really depends on like the feeling you get when you play this game. So over the next week or so, as people play this game, they're going to realize it's a complete game. It's not just like it's not a mini app, like a Telegram mini app. Like this is a full game, and it's going to take a lot of efforts to actually progress. It's challenging enough and difficult enough where you really need to think. Like you can't just AFK. Like you actually have to think, and you're going to die a lot. So that's exactly why we have these systems built in, like the skill tree. And regardless of if you lose, if you win, the game changes pretty much every run. Like it's no two runs are the same. And even when you get to the later levels, level 11, it's quite challenging because if you thought one boss was hard and you thought two bosses was hard, you're going to have 3 randomized bosses at the same time. And you could have the 3 most overpowered bosses that you need to kill at the same time who will literally one-shot you, or you might get a little lucky and have like a more chill run. So it really comes down to the compositions that you have in the game, because if you die, let's say you play a run and you die, as you progress to the later levels, you can't use the characters again instantly. So let's say you have 12 champions that you could use, 12 heroes, and you use 6 of them in one run and you die. Those 6 that you used are dead. Like you have to wait a certain amount of time until they revive to use them again. So there is a lot of strategy that comes down to this game, and we do have plans for updates. Like every single run is going to take you between 5 to 10 minutes. Realistically, like each level, we have 11 levels, and it's quite difficult to get to the end unless you're like super whaling it up. But even if you are whaling it up, like it's still difficult. It's not really an easy game by any means. Like I challenge you to play this game later when you have free time and try to get to the end. It actually is quite challenging. So when we get to the point where most users have actually progressed far enough in the game, that's when we're going to have an update, and the update is going to be a challenge mode. So this play to earn is not just play for airdrop. That challenge mode is going to be directly, people will get Kaia rewards based on how good you are at the game. So it's skill based, but at the same time, it's also participation based. So the more you play, the more like allocations you get to airdrops from ourselves and our partners and our other games as well, because we have lots of games in the pipeline. But at the same time as like airdrops and in-game items and things like that, you're also going to be earning like monetary value just from being good at a game. So if you're casual and chill, you just want to play something fun, you're rewarded. If you're really super competitive, you're rewarded. And regardless, yeah, like we don't even have an NFT launched yet because we wanted to have a core fan base first, and then you will see what kind of functionalities that brings. So this game, it's not just one and done, and it's not going to be updated, and it's just kind of left here to sit and chill and just eventually die. This game is going to get updated as our community grows, as our player base grows, and we're going to have seasons and things like that. So even post airdrop, usually all these games die, but post airdrop, it's literally just when this begins. So that's kind of my plan that I have set for this game. Updates in every single aspect of gameplay, collaborations with other IPs. Maybe you want to play with Astro Boy. Hey, it's possible. So we'll see what happens, but it's challenging, fun, and more so than anything, fun. So that's kind of it.
There are a lot of points to kind of like, kind of like deep dive into, and I would really love to be able to do that, but obviously, we don't have unlimited time. But just one thing I just want to kind of like, pick your brain on, and this may be like completely beyond scope, but for me, and off subject as well, but that said, I'm a big gamer. But I've been a console gamer all my life. I've never actually like kind of like, really got into the whole mobile gaming until there was a lot more like mid-core and to hardcore games being released. But that said, one of like with the recent kind of like roguelike games that have been released, especially on consoles, I love the roguelike games that had aspects of multiplayer. Again, this may be completely beyond scope, but do you maybe like perhaps any like, and you said, you're looking to continually expand on the game. It's not just like a one-shot kind of thing. Do you maybe have any plans to like bring in aspects of multiplayer? Because I think it was I think it was Tony that talked about it, or it was like Kaia. Like Line is one of the kind of like best distribution channels because the network effects are so strong. So in that aspect, it would be so easy to kind of like ping your friend on your friends list and just kind of like invite him in, like, hey, I'm on level 2 right now. Can you come in and like help? Is those kind of like things like a part of the plan?
I'll be real with you and tell you for this specific title, nope, that is not part of the plan. There is going to be a lot of PvP in the sense of like time trial based rewards, or like leaderboard type like PvP, but not actual co-op in this title, because it would completely defy the game logic of this specific genre of game. If you look at popular things that kind of started the craze, like Vampire Survivors or Survivor.io, like you're playing that game, you're playing Vampire Survivors for 30 minutes per champion, per hero. And that is not really a friendly game to have multiplayer. Because imagine like the game that we have now, if 2 people are playing and you both level up at different times, what happens in the game? Like it's just very, very difficult on like a back end perspective. So in the beginning, I just want everyone to have a simple game that is in depth and fun. But eventually, as we release new titles for different genres of games, I think it'll be a lot more multiplayer friendly. But currently in this iteration, we just wanted to keep it simple and have like a very clear goal of we do one thing and we are the best at this one thing.
Got it. Thank you for that. And I think that's a good segue. I think I have to my next question, which is actually for you, Tony. So during your walkthrough, you talked about how you were very strategic in your positioning, because I mean, obviously your game is not, per your kind of description, is not a casual game, but it's more like mid-core to hardcore. And you felt like as if the Line Messenger audience may be the right audience for that. Now, can you just kind of like expand on your like maybe thought process? And like, I'm sure you have like your own kind of like thesis on like what your expectations are for Line users.
Yeah, so everybody has seen like these Telegram games, right? I think early on Telegram, everybody realized that a lot of the users are more there to kind of farm airdrops, right? With the easy ability to kind of create bots, the easy ability to kind of get people to set up groups and share this into like these massive groups, right? These are all relatively harder to do in Line and Kaia, right? Because, for example, number one, like creating a Line account is very difficult. Like it's KYC, you need a mobile number, and that number, if you're like not in the region, you might not even receive like the SMS to register. So that itself has made creating Line accounts and creating bots in this space much harder. And number two, like Line itself is more of an everyday app. Like people have it on constantly, right? And given that point, we thought that Line would look more like WeChat in a sense, because like WeChat is used for everything in China, right? Like work, personal, gaming, messaging, like all of that. It's like all in one super app. And anytime you have a user base that is using it very stickily, it means that you have a larger base of general purpose users, right? these people come onto Line not for any specific reason. Whereas in Telegram, you had a lot of people that came in just to kind of make money from airdrops and farm it. Therefore, our thinking was that if you're able to kind of capture like not only the Web2, like Web3 audience, but also the Web2 audience potentially through more general idle games that have depth and that potentially can get people hooked for longer time periods, right? Where you have like longer retention and kind of build a kind of more solid base of longer term players, you could actually create quite complex experiences like that kind of rival mid-core hardcore games. That is kind of the thinking behind why we wanted to do this type of game in Line and why it makes sense, right? And I think like right now it's still very early because number one, I think like that portal itself caters to quite a bit of Web3 audiences as well. I think Web2 users right now in that portal might not be significantly high. I think that's something we need to figure out as a community, right? To see how we can get this word out and show like the Web2 people, hey, look at these games. You couldn't play these games in Line before. You can play them now. You can't play these games in mobile apps because you can't make money off of them. But if you do it in Line, you have a wallet, you have an earn perspective, you have a mass number of users that could potentially contribute quite a bit of revenue as well as time into these games. So I think right now, as a group, right, all of us, we're all kind of betting on that through Line, we can access more general purpose users, kind of bridge that Web2 and Web3 chasm. And more importantly, I think the biggest opportunity is like these users are gamers. These users are like crypto savvy now because like Taiwan, Japan, Korea, Thailand, they're all like pretty pro crypto, right? So it's a good time to actually introduce crypto elements combined with like more in-depth, sophisticated gaming in a sense. And that's kind of our thinking right behind this. Obviously, like it's still to be seen whether it works or not, right? Because I think today is day one. And more importantly, I think like these users, a lot of these Web2 users, they need time like for this to actually get into their social circles, right? Like it's not going to be like on day one where everybody is like talking about that portal, right? Like you look at Telegram Hamster Combat, they took a few months to really get off. So the bigger bet for everybody here is to kind of bridge that Web2, Web3 gap. I mean, and also like we all have to have a bit of patience, right? I think like Line built this platform in 7 months. That's pretty quick already, like given the size of the structure and organization, right? But more importantly, now it's like time for everyone to really kind of push and get this word out in front of like all of their friends, right? You look at all of these games, everybody's thinking about how to invite users, right? Like invite is pretty much the biggest airdrop potential for most of these games. Like you gain the most points through like leveraging your social network. And Line is very purposely built for social networking. It's an everyday app. It's a general purpose app. People use it on a daily basis. And now I think we all have to kind of work together and kind of build out this ecosystem together, right? Like do more campaigns together, get more users across these different apps, get it into the hands of like the non-Web3 people that we actually are all wanting to kind of capture.
Yeah, I mean, thanks for that, Tony. And you know what? I do really appreciate your more pragmatic kind of approach and view on this, touch point that we've been able to kind of like establish. So yes, the user base is definitely there. But to your point, it's definitely something that I think is going to be a lot more organic because the emphasis here isn't necessarily like on the earn aspect of these, mini dApps. Whereas, in other mini app infrastructure, the kind of like, public facing, like, core messaging was always around the earn aspect.
Yeah.
But that's something that is not necessarily going to fly with your average Line Messenger user, because they're not there to really earn. I mean, being able to earn is definitely a nice incentive, but our expectation and our hypothesis was that a lot of them will be there actually to play games and have gameplay experiences. So from that perspective, and this is kind of going to be my next question actually for you, Adele, is I think you may have had to maybe reconfigure or re-strategize your user marketing or your user messaging for specifically for Line Messenger users, because like Tony just kind of discussed, and the typical Line Messenger user may not be focused so much on the incentive side, but maybe more on the gameplay side, for example. So just what has your journey been in kind of being positioning Elderglade for the Line infrastructure, environment, and users?
So first of all, we've always, as you probably know, and Joanna mentioned, we're already live on Telegram, and we have a native app on Google Play and App Store. We have, I think, around 4 million players through all platforms. But what we did when we stepped to Telegram, we never we do have an airdrop aspect, and we also did some campaigns that are in some regions that are more reward based, but we've always positioned gameplay. So our basically priority and is long-term vision and continuity of Elderglade, rather than just creating a farming type of an app. So what we did, and when we structured the whole match system, etc., what we try to achieve is to basically allow players to to play fun matches against each other and actually have a good time. So that was always our main idea. Therefore, we didn't have to restructure our idea completely. But of course, we had to do some things to to localize the product itself. So we're kind of building Elderglade in 2 stages. So the first stage is actually this retro style MMORPG based extraction looter that you see now and you can play now, that has fun farming cards, that has an invite a friend aspect, etc. But it will also grow to a retro style MMORPG turn-based extraction looter, and it will be available both on browser and on your phone as well. Therefore, our idea is, and the focus is, that we are catering to various gamers' needs, offering them a lot of ways to engage with the game and the ecosystem, rather than just than have it in the form and shape that we have it right now. And we feel that MMORPG will take our things to the next level, introducing both dynamic and immersive gameplay and economic system where players can receive stake, our token, etc. So players will be able to build powerful champion teams, explore AI-generated maps that feel unique every time, that recruit evolving champions into taverns, and will be constantly evolving, and world designed to keep players on their toes and craving more. So that's the idea. So we're not trying to we never were and thought of ourselves as just a farming, like a tapper or an app on Telegram. We've always thought about longevity and how we will provide entertainment for the users that we have right now. And I think that focus helps us a lot with and will help us a lot with Line audience, because I don't think that this is like Tony already mentioned, this is not the audience that is here to earn small amount of a token share. I see it more as an audience who are actually interested in dApps and interested to play the games themselves. So that was our focus. That's what we're building, and I think it correlates really nicely with Line community and user base.
Yeah, I mean, just to kind of elaborate on your last point, I mean, obviously one of the key differentiators of the kind of Line user base compared to other distribution channels out there is just the fact that the users the average revenue per user is super high, probably like one of the highest in the world. Because obviously, like, Line Messenger users, especially the ones in Asia, they are very well like versed in the whole kind of like, pay to win, like, aspect of like games, right? So a lot of the times, actually most of the time, you'll find that Line users are actually used to paying to play games and paying for experiences as opposed to, being paid for playing. So it's an interesting dynamic that I think a lot of Web3, builders and especially game devs have not had the luxury of experiencing, because up until now, a lot of the kind of like, strategies for sustainable user bases were based and revolved around incentives. But definitely, I think to your point, and Tony talked about this as well, and Rich and everyone, the focus here for Line should definitely be on the gameplay.
Absolutely.
And sorry, go ahead.
And I think this is the moment where we have a possibility to bridge Web3 and Web2 gaming, like basically destroy the barrier, because right now we're entering the phase where the Web3 games are more sophisticated and Web2 users are more familiar and have tools to participate in Web3 products like games without having this like a barrier of you have to buy NFT, you have to do this and that, and it's too complicated. So basically what Line has built together with Kaia is kind of like a bridge for us to tap into both Web3 and Web2 audiences. So this is why we're seeing this step it's not just a step for us as games, it's a step for Web3 in general, because now we'll see these communities mix, because it never happened before. It happened in Telegram in a way, but Telegram in general is built for a very different purpose. And this time we have our dApps in everyday use app that people use basically like hundreds times per day, from paying to like browsing real estate. So now we have it in a way that Web2 audience, that people who are completely unfamiliar or have very little familiarity with Web3 can actually go and play, and they will not feel that they're doing like blockchain transactions, etc. too much. They will feel just like they're playing. So I think this is actually, it's a very huge step and a moment in like gamify in general. So I'm really excited to see how it unfolds.
Great points. I think so. What we're doing right now with the whole like mini dApp infrastructure with Line, and just hearing the points that you guys have been like speaking about is, I mean, from the get go, like it was our intention to make the blockchain invisible. Because from like the initial kind of planning stages, we were always like the crypto aspects and the blockchain aspects do not have to be front and center of the user experience, right? We wanted to make that invisible and make the UX UI as familiar as possible to existing Line Messenger users. So in a way, what we're doing with the Web3 dApps that we're building is it's like a bit of a Trojan horse, because it's like almost like an under the hood kind of like under the table like indirect experience of Web3 aspects, because these users, they're not purchasing NFTs, they're purchasing game items, right? And at the end of the day, they may not even realize that they're purchasing NFTs.
Absolutely. I think this is the way for Web3. This is how it's going to roll from now on, and this probably will become a new standard comparing to like 2021 games, etc.
Absolutely. Okay, so I think in that sense, the fact that what we're doing could potentially be a Trojan horse to allow, Web2 users to indirectly experience Web3 aspects, that I think is a good lead and segue to my last question to Kaia. So Captain Tsubasa is an established IP, right? And this isn't something you see often for, Web3 dApps, let alone mini dApps. So I just wanted to kind of understand, and I'm sure like Rich, Tony, and Adele are always kind of curious as well. Like, what was the behind the scenes process or decision-making process like to kind of like leverage IP like this, but for a Web3 mini dApp, as opposed to say something like a more like, and I don't want to use this term, but for the lack of a better term, like more like, full service Web 2 application?
Okay, so actually, let's say, back to the Web 2 gaming industry. So actually, in the initial phase, a lot of developers are developing the games, and then a lot of users think that's kind of suspicious, or these games are not the game because they were familiar with the console game or something. So for now, Web3 mini devs, so Web3 games is really in the similar phase here. So especially in Japan, a lot of people think Web3 is really kind of suspicious or something. And then actually, we have developed their Web3 purely Web3 game with Captain Tsubasa IP before, but in that game, users need to buy NFT and then need to create wallet before starting the game. And then actually, that was almost 2 years ago. And then actually, we got a lot of attention from existing game users because Web3 was the kind of buzzwords, and then everyone getting attention. So, there was a big hurdle to start playing the game. Yeah, so that's where we need for now we need to focus on lowering the hurdle to start the game, even though using the IP. And then one of the strong point to use IP is making mass adoption of the Web3, because a lot of like I told you before, actually still a lot of users think Web3 is very suspicious, or in talking airdrop what is that or something like that. So if users in the show the mini see the mini depths, I think every users almost all users think, oh, Captain Sponsor, I know that IP. So this is very nice opportunity to start play the mini depths, so start Web3 games. So that's where we're making it really simple to start the game, like just tapping the game. That is just the initial phase. For now, we are just focusing on increasing the number of users first, and after that, we need to see what users are looking for. Back to the Telegram, all users is looking for just airdrop, no looking for the rich game experience. But in the line mini devs, everyone said that in the Southeast Asia, there are a lot of social game users. So maybe they are looking for the rich game experience, not only tapping or something. So we need to look for what users are looking for, and then we are ready to update the game one by one. And back to your question, so one of the key points to use IP is making the mass adoption of Web3. So that is a backstory of there, because our team has over 10 years experience with developing social games, and then we think social games need to be next level. So and then we are sure next level is going to be Web3 things, Web3 games. So that's where we try to acquire a lot of Japanese IP, and then combining Japanese legendary IPs to Web3 games. And then we aiming for making mass adoption, and then we try to build their best Web3 gaming studio for in the Web3 industry.
Now, this is kind of like, I guess, like my final question, because we're almost out of time, but this is also an open question. So if you want to just like respond, please jump in. But this is something that I've always just been like curious about. So the biggest kind of like difference, again, with like building for like native Web3 audiences in a native Web3 environment or infrastructure versus like what we have with the mini dApps online is, I think, the potential for revenue streams. Because a lot of that, comes down to user behavior. Like I said, the expectation here is that line users will actually, want to pay to play these games as they, actually experience each of the games. So the approach to revenue creation and revenue streams in the past for like native Web3 experiences may have been more focused around, like, for example, the TGE, or like, maybe the sale of NFTs. Whereas here, I think the potential for like diverse revenue streams is a lot bigger. So I was just wondering, again, open question, like, what kind of thoughts have you guys kind of given to the kind of potential, like, expansion of like revenue streams and like expanding kind of like, more diverse kind of revenue streams? Yep, Adele.
Maybe I can answer that, since we've released for our first game in 2021. We actually were one of the first games, like ZK Race Horse Racing Metaverse was one of the first games in Web3 space in general. It wasn't even called Web3 space then. So yes, the old structure was that you'd have a game, you'd have a token, you'd have NFT. So for user to play a game, player has to purchase an NFT, and player has to have tokens. Player has to, let's say in our case, enroll his NFT horse into the race and pay a small fee. So in reality, the game is very limited with revenue streams, because you basically solely rely on NFTs, NFT sales, NFT royalties, and on the fees. So the whole idea, this is how the games were generally built at that time. Was like the meta. Right now, we are looking at games more in a traditional way, I would say. Because yes, we will have NFTs, but like you mentioned, those NFTs, it's not like a sale on OpenSea anymore. It's not structured this way. And all the transaction that you do in the game is also not direct blockchain pop-up. So everything's created like very seamlessly. So the user doesn't even understand or notice that he's actually interacting with Web3, ecosystem and infrastructures. And the revenue stream, just like in traditional games, well, traditional games have two revenue streams. Typically, like you buy a game that you play, or you buy a DLC, or you do microtransactions, which microtransactions is more traditional in mobile gaming. So actually, our way is more like we also have like NFTs, etc., but this is not like the main. So this sort of a way of structuring the games enables like microtransactions. So you can, in our case, you can buy boosters, you can buy like special farming cards, you can buy a lot of things that help you basically maybe progress faster. But it's not necessarily that you have to do that. You can also play totally free. So user comes, plays, he doesn't have to buy specific items, specific tokens. And then when the player is ready, and when he can initiate the transaction himself by just maybe speeding up the progress, maybe having a better champion, maybe having a skin for the champion. So yeah, so this kind of opens for Web3 gaming. It opens a lot of new opportunities to have revenue streams. But it's also in reality closer to what Web2 games have been doing for a very long time before. Hope that answers the question.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. I think there is kind of like a return to the kind of like more, I guess, for the lack of a better term, traditional kind of like gaming revenue streams. But Tony, Kaia, Rich, do you guys have any thoughts on this?
I think freemium games where you're rewarded for your time and effort is probably going to be the way. Not really paying like $3,000 for this NFT that doesn't really do anything, but more so progression. Like, do you want to save time? Do you not want to farm this? Buy some gems, progress faster. Or do you keep dying here? Do you just want to revive? Buy some gems. It's going to be a lot of microtransactions, because people don't just play one game. I can guarantee you most of the players today tested out maybe a big batch of the games, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Some people maybe even every single game, small percentage, but some people. And when they have so many options, like why does your game deserve to take their money? Like, what are you really offering them? Like, what kind of feeling are they going to get from spending in your game? And how is that really going to help them from like a fun perspective or progression perspective, regardless of future potential airdrop or something like that? So I think monetarily, like value-wise, it's more so the exchange of, if I spend this money, how am I going to feel? Because I feel terrible dying over and over and over again on a very hard boss. But you know what make me feel better? Not dying. And the only way I could do it, I'll spend $5 just to kind of get on with it. So I think in traditional games, a lot of people have that kind of save time mentality. So that's the way I see this. Just a ton of small purchases, but really, depending on the genre of the game, whales like fund everything. So there's some people who are just they don't care. They like the game, they're invested emotionally, financially, they just don't really care because they just want to win or they just want to be the best. So you got to cater to everyone, because 95% of mobile gamers are not going to spend any money. So freemium games, I think, have everything in a chokehold right now.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I think definitely with the like bigger, like more traditional Web2 studios as well. I mean, the like kind of like shift towards like kind of like prioritizing freemium games as opposed to like standalone like $120 for a game is very obvious, especially as like a console gamer, single player gamer. Yeah, I've been feeling that as well. Koya, Tony, like, do you guys want to maybe respond to this as well? Like, how have your approaches to kind of like creating like additional revenue streams, because the audience is different and because the infrastructure and UX UI is different, how has that affected kind of your design approach?
No, I think like right now.
Oh, okay, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, okay, I'll just go. But I think right now it's still like relatively straightforward, right? Like Rich said, it's still IAP for us. Mainly because we think like a lot of users will want to play if they see like incentive for them to like be like playing games, leveling up leaderboards. A lot of these are like vanity metrics, right? You just want to be like number one. You want to be like top of the leaderboard. Like there's no reward to it, right? Especially in Web2. Like people spend millions of dollars even in like some of these Chinese games that we've seen, like just to be number one and be able to kind of have that that title, right? So like if there are like a lot of real gamers in this audience, like in this ecosystem, that could like, and if you have the good content, right? If you have good, interesting game content, fun content that is like really well thought out, sophisticated content, like that would attract more like real gamers. And if they actually play these games for playing sake or for these leaderboards, right? You could get them to spend quite a bit of money in these applications. And then apart from that, like IAA, I think like right now Line hasn't really fully supported it, but I've heard like there will be IAA possibilities as well. That opens up another can of worms. Well, that opens another opportunity, right? Where a lot of these like free to play games, you can create even simpler type of gameplays, right? Where instead of having the user, for example, go through some wait times, like they don't have to like spend too much time in the game, but like watching an ad or something can give them a lot of booster packs, for example. These are all potential like levers that still be pulled, right? But obviously, I think for a lot of this, like at the end of the day, like content has to work. Content has to be the thing that is driving this user behavior rather than like purely to earn. Because like if it's play to earn, whales or like farmers, they'll just calculate what the ROI they think should be, right? And they'll just spend the money to kind of hit that optimal ROI that they're calculating, and then they're done, right? Like you might have some good upfront revenue, like for sure, but like there is no longevity, there is no retention, there is no like long tail revenue, because like at the end of the day, I think like for games, like everybody here is a game builder, like for games, like for them to make money in the long run, like the longer retention you have, the longer people play this game, the higher opportunity you have like long tail, a long-term stable revenue essentially. And I think at the end of the day, that's the goal for us here, right? Like we want to create good content that these players will play for a relatively long time so that you continuously have money coming in. revenue coming in.
Yeah, words of wisdom. I'm sure everybody's kind of like, nodding in agreement, because I mean, definitely like, sustainability is, key to kind of like, being, not even success, but to just to like be able to like continue like operations, right? So, but yeah, Koya.
Okay, so actually, like I mentioned before, actually, it's important things to identify, what they looking for. They means the users. Actually, the user base of Line mini dApps is gonna be super mixed. Like the Web3 users or Web3 users and the gamers and not gamers. So we need to create and clarify the reason for the payment. So like this idea is really similar with what Rich said. So the gamers is looking for like the fun things or something, and then investors or Web3 users is looking for the return from the game or from fun things. I don't know, but we need to see the what kind of user base Live Mini Dapps has. Live Mini Dapps is getting. So we need to. For now, Captain Tsubasa Rivals is truly free to play, but actually, Line basically, Line Mini Depths has a huge user base in the Southeast Asia, and then Southeast Asia there are a lot of social game users. So of course we can update the things for the fun things or something like that. So, but at first we need to carefully identify what they are looking for.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Now, so we'll run out of time, but I could like, this is like a personal passion subject of mine, so I could kind of like continue kind of discussing this, because the I guess if you will, like the evolution of gaming in Web3 is really fascinating to see, because ultimately, with other aspects of Web3, it's very much like kind of like focused on like the tech side, whereas games at the end of the day is for the end user, right? So it's about actually having fun and storytelling and gameplay. So so in a weird way, we're kind of like reverting back to kind of like more traditional aspects, and I think Line is giving us that opportunity to really explore the more creative aspects, as opposed to kind of just like really focusing on incentive structures and so on. But we're running out of time. So that said, you know what? I really want to thank everyone that participated today. Obviously, our guests, Rich, Koya, Tony, Adele, and Johan is gone. But thank you guys for making the time to speak with us, to the community. We have 2,000 people still watching at the moment. So thank you guys for sticking around till the end. I'm sure you're all very tired. But again, no catastrophic failures. I think day one, all things considered, was a success. But what I do want to emphasize, and not just to you guys, but also to like everyone watching right now, is that this is literally day one. We are literally just getting started now. So things can only get better, and things will be iterated. I know the Line team, they are a cracked crew of developers, project managers. So the process and the strategy from now here is it's going to be very data driven. So I think they're already analyzing the data at the moment to like, and then using that to kind of like extract, lessons learned that can be actionable and turned into like, additional features and improvements and so on. So exciting, basically, because again, there's already a ton of enthusiasm, but things can only get better from today. So guys, thank you. Get some rest. You all deserve it. And to everybody watching right now, thank you. I'm sure you're all very busy, like playing the mini Dapp titles that were launched today. But yeah, keep an eye out on our socials. There's going to be a ton more events coming up. And also, again, like I said, day one. So a month from now, things are going to be a lot better and a lot more, exciting. So, yep. Thank you, everyone. And it's been a great day. And that's a wrap for, I think, day one.
Thank you so much. It was pleasure being here today.
Yeah. Thank you for coming. Koya, Tony, Adele, thank you guys.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Great day, everyone. Bye.
See you.